Introduction.
Hello, I'm Deborah Clark, your Pinellas County Supervisor of Elections. As poll workers, you are charged with the responsibility of providing equal access to all voters. You are customer service representatives whose duty is to assist voters with dignity and respect. We hope this video will provide you with the tools needed to meet these goals. Voting is a precious right that all voters hold dearly. Thank you for your service as poll workers, and we'll see you on Election Day.
Serving voters with visual disabilities.
Hello, my name is Wanda, and I am a mental health counselor at Lighthouse of Pinellas at Watson Center. I am so pleased to be involved in the production of this video for the Pinellas County Supervisor of Elections. We hope this training video will help you as poll workers to feel confident in assisting voters with special needs and disabilities. I am a voter who is vision impaired. An audio voting machine called the AutoMark enables me to vote with privacy as I did when I was sighted. Thank you for your diligence in ensuring that all voters have the chance to participate in our representative democracy with privacy and independence. Remember, it's as easy as asking, "May I be of assistance?" Remember, together we can make a difference.
Deputy. A voter who is visually impaired and brings a sighted guide would not necessarily need assistance from the deputy to locate his or her inspector table. When a voter brings a sighted guide, remember to speak directly to the voter.
Hello and welcome to the precinct. I'd like to offer you my arm, and may I guide you in?
Yes.
Thank you.
A voter who's visually impaired and using a white cane may need assistance to locate his or her inspector table. Ask the voter if you may guide them by offering your arm. If the voter accepts, be sure to obtain the voter's precinct number and last name so you can guide them to the correct table. A voter who is visually impaired and has a guide dog may need assistance to locate the correct inspector table. Ask the voter if they would like their guide dog to follow you. If the voter accepts, the voter will command the guide dog to follow you. Remember to alert the voter when you start walking. Obtain the voter's precinct number and last name so you can lead the guide dog to the correct table.
Oh, thank you for tapping the table. It lets me know where it is.
You're welcome.
It is helpful for the deputy to tap on the table, providing audio feedback to where the table and inspector are located.
Pocket. Yes, here it is.
Thank you.
Inspector. While maintaining eye contact and speaking directly to the voter, the inspector will proceed with checking the voter in and determining their eligibility. The inspector will have to confirm the voter's current address by reciting it aloud.
Now, do you still live at 3004 Sunset Way?
I do.
Thank you. Now, may I guide your hand to the pin?
Okay. Thank you.
When having the voter sign the precinct register, it is helpful for the inspector to ask if they may provide tactile feedback by tapping the voter's hand. This will guide the voter to the pen and to the signature guide.
Would you care to have
Once the check-in process is complete, the inspector will ask the voter if they would like to use the audio function of the AutoMark. It is important to explain to the voter that this will allow the voter to vote independently and in private, and that instructions will be provided.
And I want to let you know that we do have an audio machine which allows you to vote independently and privately, and we will provide instructions to use that machine, or we can provide 2 poll workers to assist you in marking your ballot at the booth.
If the voter declines and wishes to have 2 poll workers assist with marking their ballot, an oath may be required. If a voter does not have an assistance required message in the precinct register, the inspector will complete Section 1 of the multipurpose affirmation and check Needs Assistance at the polls. On the back of the form, the Declaration to Secure Assistance oath must be completed. If a voter has an assistance required message in the precinct register, then it's not necessary to complete the multipurpose affirmation. If a voter brings someone to help them mark their ballot, and the assistance required message is not in the precinct register, then both the Declaration to Secure Assistance and the Declaration to Provide Assistance oaths must be completed. Remember, Florida law allows, with a few exceptions, a voter to bring anyone they wish to assist them. Regardless, if a voter has an assistance required message in the precinct register, a person assisting a voter must always complete the Declaration to Provide Assistance oath, with the exception of poll workers, even if it was completed in a previous election. Remember, the Declaration to Provide Assistance only needs to be completed if a person assisting the voter is helping a voter mark the ballot. Simply providing guidance through the polling place or instructing the voter on how to use the AutoMark is basic customer service and does not require use of the multipurpose affirmation. Refusing to allow a person brought by the voter to assist them, or by not providing the option or opportunity to use the AutoMark, is in violation of the law. All voters have the right to vote independently and in private. Once the inspector process is completed, the inspector will ask the assistant clerk, if available, to guide the voter to the ballot manager's table. Again, by tapping your fingers on the table, you will be providing audio feedback to the voter, letting them know where the ballot manager and tables are located.
Ballot Manager. While maintaining eye contact and speaking directly to the voter, the ballot manager will confirm the voter's name on the ballot ticket by reciting it aloud.
This says you are Beverly Blair. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Now, I do need your signature on this
Make sure to
paper.
tell the voter
So,
what they are
may I
signing.
guide your hand
In this
to
case,
the-
tell the voter that you need them to sign the ballot ticket.
Okay. Now, I need to guide your hand to where you're going to be signing, so if I can just guide your hand.
It's helpful for the
Okay,
ballot
and
manager
sign
to ask if
there.
they may provide tactile feedback by tapping the voter's hand. This will guide the voter to the pen and to the signature guide. Remember, a visually impaired voter cannot see what the poll worker is doing or how a polling place is set up. So rather than using language like, "Follow me over here," or "Here's a pen," you must be more specific and use audio and tactile guides, such as, "I am walking around you on your left," and "May I tap your hand to guide you to a pen?" This will help familiarize a voter with their surroundings.
I got it.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day.
I'm going to be walking around you to get in front of the dog.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to walk straight ahead.
Okay, forward, follow.
Assistant Clerk with the AutoMark. When bringing the voter to the AutoMark, inform the voter that you are tapping the top of the chair that is in front of the AutoMark. This provides the voter with an audio guide that will help the voter familiarize themselves with the area. The poll worker will need to ask the voter if he or she has used the AutoMark before. If not, the poll worker will need to explain to the voter how to use the AutoMark. After instructions have been provided to the voter, the poll worker will ask the voter to raise their hand if they have any questions or when they're done voting. Let the voter know that you are walking away so that the voter knows they are voting in private.
How to use the AutoMark for voters with visual disabilities. The ballot must be inserted into the tray that's located on the front of the AutoMark. The ballot must be inserted straight to avoid ballot jams. To ensure the ballot is inserted straight, the sides of the ballot should be touching the flat, smooth edges of the tray, and the ballot must be underneath the lip of the tray. After the voter has completed voting and the AutoMark has marked the ballot will eject from a narrow slot above the insert tray. Voters who are visually impaired will most likely be using the audio function of the AutoMark. A voter will use the keypad on the right side of the AutoMark to maneuver through the ballot and an audio headset to listen to the audio voice recording of the AutoMark. The up and down arrow keys will allow the voter to scroll through the voting choices. The back and forward buttons will allow the voter to scroll from page to page. The square select button will allow the voter to make a selection. A visually impaired voter will most likely not be using the touchscreen function, and therefore it should be explained to the voter that the screen should be turned off to protect the voter's privacy. The diamond-shaped screen button will perform this function. The circle repeat button will repeat the last item the voter heard through the audio headset. The upper oblong tempo button can either increase or decrease the speed of the audio voice recording, and the lower oblong volume button can either increase or decrease the volume of the audio voice recording. Please note the volume of the voice recording is automatically set very low by the machine before each use. It will be necessary for the voter to significantly increase the volume before they start voting. To begin voting, insert the ballot into the insert tray. It will take a moment for the audio voice recording of the AutoMark to read the ballot language. When the AutoMark is ready, step-by-step instructions will be announced by the audio voice recording for the voter. At the end of the ballot, the AutoMark will indicate that it's come to a review screen. This will recap all the voter's selections. Once the voter is sure that they've made all of their selections and does not want to make any changes, they will scroll to and select the Mark Ballot button. It will take the AutoMark a few minutes to mark the ballot. If the voter made a mistake and wishes to obtain a replacement ballot, the same procedures as a voter who didn't use the AutoMark would apply. Once the ballot is returned, the voter will need 2 hands to remove the ballot to prevent tearing. Persons with limited vision may want to use the options of zoom in and zoom out on the touch screen. This function magnifies the ballot and also returns the print to normal size. There's also a contrast option that will switch the background to black and the print to white. There are 4 auxiliary ports that can be used on the AutoMark. The 2 ports on the left are used for audio devices. The 2 ports on the right are used for 2-switch paddle and sip-and-puff devices. The audio headset provided at the polls can be plugged into the smaller of the 2 audio ports. A voter may bring their own audio headsets and can use either audio port depending on the size of the headset jack. The AutoMark is multifunctional and can be used by voters with visual and physical disabilities. In addition, the AutoMark audio function can be used by voters who are unable to read. Later, we will detail how the AutoMark can be used by voters with physical disabilities.
Machine Manager and Scanner. The AutoMark only marks the ballot. The voter must then take their ballot to the scanner to have their votes recorded.
So if you have your dog follow me, please.
Forward, follow. Okay.
And
Great,
may
I
I touch
found
your
it.
hand to show you how to use the scanner?
Yes, let me just put this underneath my...
The machine manager will guide the voter to the scanner and will ask the voter if they may guide their hands to the area where the ballot is inserted into the scanner. Again, using audio and tactile guides allow the voter to familiarize themselves with the area.
Ballot through. So I'm going to step aside while you put your ballot in. When you're finished, I'll come get you to take you to the deputy.
Remember to inform the voter that you are walking away so they know the secrecy of their ballot is protected. If a ballot jams, the machine manager will let the voter know what has happened.
I'm reading your screen here and it says that there's a ballot jam. So if I may have your secrecy sleeve, I'm going to place it on top of your ballot so we can...
By using the secrecy sleeve, the poll worker will create a cover and will remove the ballot from the scanner, always protecting the secrecy of the ballot.
Sleeve. And then if you would please just reinsert it again.
All right.
I will step back again.
Okay.
If there is an overvote or blank ballot alert message, the machine manager will let the voter know what has happened. Explain to the voter that they can either accept the ballot as is or reject the ballot for correction. Ask the voter if they need assistance with pressing the button on the screen. If the voter accepts, use tactile guides by tapping the voter's hand and then guide their hand to the screen. If the voter wishes to have the ballot returned to them for correction, the poll worker will use the secrecy sleeve to create a cover and then will remove the ballot from the scanner, always protecting the secrecy of the ballot.
Deputy. Using audio and tactile guides, inform the voter that you are exchanging the secrecy sleeve for an I voted sticker.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ask the voter if you may assist in guiding them out of the polling place.
Forward out.
Serving voters with physical disabilities.
Hi, my name is Kevin, and I served my country in the United States Navy aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt CVN-71 aircraft carrier. My right to vote is important to me, and having the ability to participate in the electoral process gives me great pride. Because of your assistance and the touchscreen technology of the AutoMark, I will be able to cast my ballot in private, a right secured by the Constitution. Thank you.
Outside deputy. All polling places must be ADA accessible. Therefore, disabled parking spaces must be provided, and either a flat surface or ramp leading into the polling place must be available. In addition, the outside deputy is required to open the door and greet each voter.
Inspector. There are different types of physical disabilities. A voter using a wheelchair may have total use of their upper body and may not need assistance. Again, the safest bet is to simply ask, "How may I assist you?" Other voters using a wheelchair may have limited use of their upper bodies and may need further assistance with things such as gripping a pen.
I'll need a little assistance if that's okay, holding the pen.
Certainly.
Okay.
State law requires no one other than the voter sign their name into the precinct register, including power of attorney. Some voters who have limited upper mobility may only be able to make a mark and not a full signature in the precinct register. If a voter makes a mark, place parentheses on either side of the voter's mark. Write the voter's first name to the left of the parentheses and the last name to the right of the parentheses. Above the voter's mark, write his or her, and below the voter's mark, write mark. This will ensure that the elections office is aware that the mark is truly a voter's signature. Once the check-in process is complete, the inspector will ask the voter if they would like to use the touch screen function of the AutoMark. It's important to explain to the voter that this will allow the voter to vote independently and in private, and that instructions will be provided. If the voter declines and wishes to have two poll workers assist with marking their ballot, an oath may be required. Again, refusing to allow a person brought by the voter to assist them, or by not providing the option or opportunity to use the AutoMark is a violation of the law. All voters have the right to vote independently and in private. A voter with limited upper mobility using the touchscreen function of the AutoMark will need to be provided with the options of either touching the screen with their hand, using the two-switch paddle device, or a stylus.
Hello, may I assist you?
Yes, please.
I'd like to tell you that there are 3 ways in which you can vote.
Okay.
One is to touch the screen with your hand. The other one is to use the stylus as an extender, and the other one is a two-switch paddle. Which would you prefer?
The stylus would be fine.
The poll worker will need to ask if the voter will need assistance with inserting and removing the ballot. If the voter accepts this assistance, explain to the voter that when they have completed voting, to raise their hand. The poll worker will need to take the secrecy sleeve from the voter prior to the voter voting. So when the ballot is ejected from the AutoMark, the poll worker can use the sleeve to create a cover, always protecting the secrecy of the ballot. Poll workers are required to set up a privacy voting booth on a table and the ADA accessible privacy voting booth. Any voter may want to use these booths to vote. Be sure a chair is nearby so a voter wishing to sit while voting has the option.
Machine Manager. When providing assistance, always ensure that you are protecting the secrecy of the voter's ballot. And remember, it is always important to ask before assuming someone needs your help.
Do you need assistance putting your ballot in the scanner?
No, I think I'm good, thanks.
Please insert your ballot in the scanner.
How to use the AutoMark for voters with physical disabilities. The ballot must be inserted into the tray that is located on the front of the AutoMark. The ballot must be inserted straight to avoid ballot jams. To ensure the ballot is inserted straight, the sides of the ballot should be touching the flat, smooth edges of the tray, and the ballot must be underneath the lip of the tray. After the voter has completed voting and the AutoMark has marked the ballot will eject from a narrow slot above the insert tray. To begin voting, insert the ballot into the insert tray. It will take a moment for the AutoMark to display the ballot language on the touch screen. When the AutoMark is ready, instructions will be displayed on the first screen. The AutoMark has a flashing indicator that will prompt the voter to the next step. A voter using the touchscreen function of the AutoMark will simply touch their selections. A voter's choice will be highlighted in yellow. The AutoMark will alert the voter if they have made an undervote and will give the voter the option to go back and make additional selections or to continue voting. To change a selection, the voter would simply touch their new choice. To write in a candidate's name, the voter would touch the Write-in option and spell out the candidate's name using the alpha keypad. The voter also has the option of going back and reviewing or changing selections from previous pages. At the end of the ballot, the AutoMark will display a review screen. This will recap all of the voter selections. Once the voter is sure that they have made all of their selections and does not want to make any changes, they will touch the Mark Ballot button. It will take the AutoMark a few minutes to mark the ballot. If the voter made a mistake and wishes to obtain a replacement ballot, the same procedures as a voter who didn't use the AutoMark would apply. Once the ballot is returned, the voter will need 2 hands to remove the ballot to prevent tearing. Again, there are 4 auxiliary ports that can be used on the AutoMark. The 2 ports on the left are used for audio devices. The 2 ports on the right are used for 2-switch paddle and sip-and-puff devices. The audio headset provided at the polls can be plugged into the smaller of the 2 audio ports. A voter may bring their own audio headset and can use either audio port depending on the size of the headset jack. The 2-switch paddle device can be used by voters with limited upper mobility or limited use of their arms and hands. The 2-switch paddle device provided at the polls can be plugged into the round access port. The voter may bring their own 2-switch paddle device and can use either access ports depending on the type of jack. The sip-and-puff device can be used by voters who have extremely limited or no use of their arms and hands. Most voters in this case will bring their own sip-and-puff device and will only need to plug it into one of the access ports. If a voter did not bring his or her own device, one can be provided at the polls. Again, the AutoMark is multifunctional and can be used for voters with visual and physical disabilities. In addition, the AutoMark audio function can be used for voters who are unable to read. But remember, the AutoMark can be used by any voter.
Setting up the AutoMark and table. The AutoMark is delivered to the polling place in a black suitcase-like container. The AutoMark table is delivered to the polling place in a gray plastic box. When setting up the AutoMark and table, a minimum of 2 poll workers are needed. This is to ensure your safety. First, remove the AutoMark table by placing it on a flat surface. The AutoMark table consists of the actual table, 4 legs, and a privacy hood. Second, firmly place legs into the holes on the bottom side of the table, black ends up. The holes are located in the 4 corners of the table. Once the legs have been inserted, turn the table upright and place it on the floor where the AutoMark will be kept throughout the day. Remember to place the AutoMark in a well-lit area, near the assistant clerk table, in an area that provides a clear path that is free of obstacles and easy to get to and maintains the voter's privacy. To remove the AutoMark from its container, first lay the container on the floor. Second, release the latches on both sides of the container. Next, using a minimum of 2 poll workers, lift the AutoMark from the case and place it on the AutoMark table. The AutoMark sticker on the front of the machine must be facing in the direction of the voter. The AutoMark fits tightly into 4 round indents located on the top of the table. Next, remove the AC power cord from the case and plug the cord into the machine on the far left side of the back of the AutoMark. Be sure to plug in the other end to the wall outlet. Next, shift the 2 plastic knobs outward and lift the plastic top, which is used to cover the printing path, and lift the AutoMark screen to the upright position. Then, close the plastic top and shift both plastic knobs inward and push the screen back until the screen touches the plastic knobs. This will keep the screen from bouncing when a voter uses the touch screen. Next, pull the ballot insert tray out and then place the privacy hood over the AutoMark. Remove the 2-switch paddle and audio headset from the AutoMark container and place them next to the AutoMark. Then retrieve the sip and puff device from the ballot box and place under the AutoMark. In addition, retrieve the stylus from the machine manager and place with the audio headset and 2-switch paddle. Finally, place the container and the box with the other polling place supplies that are not being used during Election Day. Election morning, poll workers will only be required to turn the AutoMark on by using key number 3. Place the key into the keyhole and turn 1 click to the right. This will turn the light from red to green. Let's review.
Assisting a voter. First and foremost, respect a voter's desire to do things for themselves. Never assist a voter without asking first. It's as simple as asking, "May I assist you?" Speak directly to the voter. Maintain eye contact. And as a courtesy, tell the voter your first name. Provide audio and tactile guides to provide feedback to the voter so that they may familiarize themselves with their surroundings. For example, tapping on a table or tapping a voter's hand to guide them to a pen.
2 edges on the scanner, one on this side and one on this side.
Although you may not be assisting a voter with marking their ballot, it is important to protect the secrecy of the voter's ballot when, for example, removing a ballot from the AutoMark or placing a ballot in the scanner. A voter has the legal right to bring anyone they choose, with few exceptions, to assist them throughout the voting process. To refuse a voter of this option and insist a voter use poll workers is a violation of the law. If there is any indication that the voter has a disability or special needs, it is the poll worker's obligation and legal responsibility to let the voter know they have the option of using the AutoMark. Regardless if a voter brings someone with them, it is a poll worker's duty to offer the use of the AutoMark. It can never be assumed that someone with a voter is going to assist the voter with marking their ballot.
Oh, I would much prefer to use the audio voting machine and be able to vote in private.
Wonderful. So I'm going to call this.
Attitude. Your attitude should reflect your commitment to serving your community. Remember, you chose to be a poll worker. Be enthusiastic about your willingness to help every voter. Remember, you're a customer service representative.
Body language.
Please place your ballot in the scanner. Will you need assistance placing your ballot in the scanner?
Yes.
Crossing your arms, taking a step back, or placing obstacles between you and the voter are indicators that you are either unwilling or uncomfortable with assisting that voter. Our body language speaks volumes about our attitude.
Words.
Good morning.
The tone of your voice will set the stage for the rest of a conversation. Using inflammatory, condescending, or patronizing tones, or worse yet, saying nothing, will create barriers between the poll worker and the voter. A friendly welcome or good morning and a respectful "how may I assist you" will start you off on the right foot.
For you, and I will place it on the
Conclusion. Remember, every polling place will have multiple devices to assist voters with the voting process. Those include Braille translations of every voter information poster, Braille translation stickers on the secrecy folder that explains its use, a magnifying sheet to use for any purpose, stylus, an ADA accessible voting booth, and signature guides. We also have large print voter registration applications and Braille reference voter registration applications at numerous offices located throughout Pinellas County, including our 3 elections offices. Don't forget, if you have any questions regarding the use of the AutoMark or have a question about a procedure, call the elections office. The elections office is here to support you.
Do you need assistance putting your ballot in the scanner?
No, I think I'm good, thanks.
Your position as a poll worker is to provide excellent customer service to all voters. Poll workers are responsible for complying with the law and ensuring that all voters are provided equal access to the voting process. Just remember, all voters want to be treated with kindness and in a dignified manner. It's as simple as asking, "May I assist you?"
Hello, may I assist you?
Yes, please.
I'd like to let you know that you have 3 choices.
Questions.